Hello, everyone. Welcome back to FPL Jedi Show. This is the Gameweek 25 Deadline stream. My name is Hafiz, and I would like to welcome my co-host Azmin to the stream. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I honestly have been struggling with my team for the last few days, but I found a solution of what I'm going to do, so we can go through it later. And yeah, but otherwise, I'm raring to go for the week.
Right, this is the Friday night deadline stream, which is nice because sometimes we miss out those deadline stream, and especially on Saturday.
We
But
usually
we
do.
are ready for Friday deadline stream. And if I may reveal, since
Yes.
we last streaming, we have been
Mm,
confirming on the double game week 26, where the
that's right.
Carabao Cup semi-final results already concluded, where Arsenal and Man City are qualified to the Carabao Cup final, and the fixture for Arsenal against Wolves will be carried forward to game week 26. So we can see that Brentford and Arsenal, and also Nottingham Forest and Wolves will add up with the fixture of Wolves versus Arsenal. So, man, your first reaction to this is what we expected, right, man?
Yeah, it's generally the forecast of Arsenal winning their match against Chelsea. Although I don't know why Chelsea set their team up the way they did, Rosenio. They weren't really ambitious. It was almost after watching some highlights and a bit of a match. It was almost like they were the ones who were leading and just set up the team not to lose. That's what I felt with Chelsea was. Yeah, but they got undone by a late Kai Havertz goal. But in the end, Chelsea never really looked like they were gonna actually be able to do much. So yeah, a bit disappointing. But hey, Arsenal's but Chelsea's loss is Arsenal's gain, and Arsenal's gain is affects us for the double game week.
Yep, it's something I expected. No chaos. If let's say Chelsea won that game, so we might have Chelsea and Everton double game week in 26, and where people might scrambling to get those assets in,
Mm.
especially for Chelsea and Everton. But it is what it is. I am prepared for this match for sure because I have some Wolves and Arsenal assets, but we're going to talk about the likes of Saka, whether he's going to be fit, or are we going, what we're going to do in the likes of this double game week 26. But that is the teamwork for this. So let's go through the fixture for this game week 25 before we jump to the team news and pressure from managers. What
Yep.
will be in store for this week? As we mentioned, the early kickoff Friday night, Leeds versus Forest. I think that's the opening match for this game week 25. Then on Saturday, we have United versus Spurs. Can United continue their winning streak? They are on the three winning run right now. Can they make it fourth? On Saturday, we have Arsenal versus Sunderland. We have Bournemouth versus Villa. We have Burnley versus West Ham. Another important match in terms of relegation battle. We have Fulham versus Everton, and also Spurs versus Chelsea. On midnight Saturday, we have Newcastle versus Brentford. Newcastle also needing points, but Brentford on high flying right now. And Sunday, we have Brighton versus Palace before we close off with the blockbuster match, of which Liverpool will entertain Man City at Anfield. So that's the matches for this game, man, which stand out for you.
Oh, Liverpool versus Manchester City, very very spicy, and I'm so happy that it's the Super Sunday match to end the day. Although for us it's already Monday, I guess. Yeah, but very very interesting matches. You got Manchester United versus Spurs. Another example. Um, and after that, the Newcastle versus Brentford. Newcastle struggling after you know they look like they're out of it. They're really struggling in terms of injuries and short. Not enough players. Against Brentford who continue to defy. Uh, and if you remember at the start of the season, we were predicting Brentford would be a team that would be in the relegation zone a lot because they had so many key members leaving the team, but that hasn't happened. Then you have Bournemouth versus Villa. Villa who were sabotaged by 10-man Brentford last week. Yeah, even though Brentford lost silly to Sade, who got egged on by Matty Cash, but somehow they managed to hold off Villa and still win. And Bournemouth, if you remember, at one point they were having a bad patch, and now they've also recovered, even despite no almost Semenyo, Tavernier injured, Cliver injured, but the ones who've been around have stepped up. So yeah, it's set up to an interesting one. So again, another thing we got Arsenal who've also bounced back and convincing win and also win in the Carabao Cup against Sunderland, who did finally broke their non-winning streak with a 3-0 win, albeit that was against the promoted side Burnley. So it'll be interesting, especially with Zaka still out as well.
Hmm. All right, man. Let's focus. I think let's focus on Arsenal first because this
Yes.
is what people are looking at in terms of team news. Whether Saka, especially who actually injured during warm up, during last match against Leeds United, he did not feature, and the Madueke come in. What's the chances of Saka coming in for this game with 25? Let's take a look on the Arsenal versus Sunderland team news. And on Arsenal, maybe we can touch on that because Arteta did mention about Saka on is he getting much better? Can he be available this week? So, man, what's your comment on the Arsenal pressure?
Yes, yeah. But I guess the thing with Timber is there were pictures released and Timber wasn't there, so people there's a speculation now. But according to Ateta, Timber is fine. I don't know. I think those of
What's
us who
what's
have
meaning of fine?
Timber, we'll just have to accept it. But it does raise a question for those who are looking to, as you know, Game Week 26 has now been um, designated as a double game week for Arsenal, as mentioned in the previous slide. But now those of us who, for example, like myself, I have Gabriel and Rice. So I was looking for third, and it was almost auto that the third one's Timber, settled. Now there's a bit of uncertainty. So do we take Arteta at his word? I'm not so sure, but we're running out of time, so we need to make that
Yep.
decision. So the problem on the Sunderland side, of course, is their talisman Granit Xhaka is still out. So that does not bode well. It would be nice to have seen Granit Xhaka play against his own old side Arsenal, but that's not going to happen. He's still out for a few weeks at least. Yeah. So now, if I call this match, it's hard to see Sunderland winning despite their defensive solidity. So I think as much as I like Sunderland, having Ballard for quite a while, Arsenal should win this comfortably, if not massively, maybe 2-0. Yeah.
All right. I just want to dissect what Arteta comment on Saka. He
Mm.
mentioned about getting much better. So hopefully very soon he will be with us. Means that if I can take from here, he won't be available this week, but he could be available somewhere in 26, 27. I think
So
that's
so the
what my take from this comment.
so the concern now is that because we want to um get our
Yeah,
triple Arsenal players. So this is
yeah.
giving people hope. Is he going to run? And but it does hurt those of you who already have Saka. What do you do for this week if you think that
Yeah,
he's going to
like,
make it
like
back
like
in
myself,
time?
I'm a Saka owner, like
Yeah.
myself.
Would you risk benching him, in the hopes that he'll come back for game week 26, or
I just want
would you
to
swap him out?
mention to you, Saka is
Yeah.
losing price in terms of his value right now, dropping
Oh,
from
it's dropping in
10.1,
from.
10 million,
Yeah.
and now 9.9. I don't think I can take any more drop in terms of their price. I think a decision need to be made. And if you ask me, I think this is a clear cut thing. Arsenal have
Clear
a
cut, eh?
good entry point against Sunderland at home right now, and Rice is the best midfielder right now. Let me take a quick look in terms of stat for midfielder. In terms of total points, Rice is at number third after Semenyo and Bruno Fernandes. I don't think we should complicate this. That's my view.
Okay, but there's also, if I remember correctly, there's also Odegaard missing training as well. So I don't know whether that's going to be the case, but um, because if it was early in the season without Odegaard, then Eze would is slot in. It was almost exactly. But now Eze
Mm.
seems to have to the point that he's being frozen out. He's hardly getting, and then I went through Arsenal forums and tried to figure out what was going on because there was not much in the official news. Unofficially, it seems that I wasn't able to look at old matches, but the
Oh,
argument is that Eze doesn't do enough work off the ball. He just
oh,
stands there, waits, So that is the main concern. Why? Because the thing is, remember he scored a hat trick against Palace not too long ago. You'd
oh
think that
yeah.
would push him into the powerhouse, but then no, he's starting to look like a bad purchase. So I don't know. I don't see
He
him
could be
coming
a
into future
talisman for
matches.
Crystal Palace, but now after moving to Arsenal, he might need to make
Small
some changes
fish
in
in a
the
big
problem.
small fish in a big pond.
I think maybe I think that's for Arteta to manage him. I said it, but I just want to touch on Timber.
Yep.
Arteta mentioned he's fine, but if they say you have a concern whether Timber can play or Ben White play this week, I think you can still hold your transfer for next week in terms of defender. If you're thinking whether Timber should be in, at least next week, which is the midweek game anyway. So
Mm,
maybe you have some indication whether Timber is fine or not. I think for Timber, that
okay.
could be a case.
Yeah. So for me, do I want to get that triple? The thing is, Arsenal versus Sunderland is a good matchup. That's the problem.
Okay. Okay.
So rather than waiting to triple out, do the triple out now and get the extra reward. Sorry,
Understand,
sorry.
understand. That is the lure to get this
Yeah,
Arsenal triple this game week, whether double defense or getting replacement for Saka. Okay,
itulah. Yep,
so I think we just hold this and then we focus on our team selection later. Let's go to the next team news, which is we go back the early kickoff for this match, this game
yep.
week 25, which is Leeds versus Forest. What's the latest news for both teams?
Okay, Stack out next two matches. Match are not far away, but Bijol and James Dustin. But in reality, these aren't FPL important picks. So your Rodon's fine and DCL is fine. I don't know, is DCL back on his is DSCL's streak over? That's it for him. I don't know because it doesn't look good. On the far side, you got Cells injured. Uh, or the thing is, I was actually looking at Cells as a possible replacement for my Donnarumma, but now he's injured because after who's that guy Victor was had seemed to have taken over his first choice, but now he's out and now Cells is out, so
Yeah,
Ortega
yeah.
could come in. Yeah, but in terms of this match, I originally thought Forest would be looking to would be able to keep a clean sheet in here. Now I'm not so sure. Because Leeds can attack, and and it's not just DCL who's contributing goals, but everyone else is a lot of people else as well. So not great. Maybe one all, I guess. Do you have any players from this one? No, right?
No, but later I'll touch on probably maybe one player from these two teams will come in for my team because
Mm.
I think that could be a possibility. I just take a quick look in terms of how much Ortega did cost. So if let's say he could be an option, maybe let's say sales out for a while, probably. But how much is his? I think that could be how much is he? He's 5 million. Mm, ah, yeah.
Forest fixtures are not bad.
He's at 4.7. So yeah,
Yeah.
probably at least the next two. I think Leeds and Wolf, if I'm right. Okay, I think that's the team news for Leeds and Forest. Let's go to the next one, man.
Mhm.
Which
Yep.
is United and Spurs. I think there's some heavily interested for United assets, especially. They play at home again after getting a thriller match against Fulham last week. Last minute goal from Sesko. Bruno Fernandes did the assist 2 goals for this week. And potentially, it could be a captain pick for this week. What do you say?
Excuse me. Sorry. So Dogu's still out. Maybe someone close, but we getting excited now because we see that the the combination of Embuemo, Cunha, and Bruno Fernandes is looking like it's reaching its optimum under Carrick. And Sesko as well. Sesko scoring that goal to push Manchester United over is also, it's starting. It looks really, really good. So there's a lot of positivity around the Manchester United camp at the moment, and with the fans as well. So they're going to look at this, and we know that Spurs are also in a lot of trouble. And although sure they managed to not say get a scalp, but also stop Manchester City from winning as well. But this is a game, at the Theatre of Dreams. I feel that Manchester United is just gonna overrun them a bit, and the only thing is, that, of course, it's the early match. So, but Manchester United should win. But I do think with Solanke finding the back of the net last week, I think he can still score against this one. Manchester United's defense isn't exactly solid yet.
Right, great. I do feel United should keep the same lineup for Spurs. They could have a bit of morale from last week. They did manage to get a draw after tearing down against City, but this is away to United and they are on fire right now. So that's United versus Spurs team news. Let's go to the next one, which is Bournemouth versus Villa. I think this is also an interesting match because Bournemouth also did win against Wolves last week, and Villa has been losing goals at home, but they are playing away this week. What's the latest news for both teams?
All right, so for Bournemouth, it's really just about David Brooks because Tavernier's out, Clivert's out, but the rest of the players have stepped up well. So Villa looks like Onana and Watkins, especially Watkins, will be in the squad. If you remember last week, he wasn't able, and then Tammy Abraham came. Although it does raise the question is how is Villa gonna line up? But assuming if Watkins is 100% fit, then I would argue that he would be the first 11 with Tammy coming on despite him scoring. Well, they did score, but disallowed goal in the previous game. And at the end of the day, reality is Aston Villa did lose the last match. So no issues about making changes. So yeah, Watkins will come in, and um Douglas Lewis, we're still waiting on that, thinking will he be the penalty taker? It does make logic sense because Watkins isn't the first choice, and but of course there's Tillmans there, but we know how well he was almost legendary a few years back, right? When we had it, in
Yup,
FPL.
yup.
Yeah, it
I
was
remember
was
that.
and I can't imagine if because he's the holding midfielder. Imagine he's scoring penalties and gets those defcons. He'll be like he would have been like the budget Bruno
Yup,
Fernandez. If
yup.
yeah.
It
But
could
let's
be.
see, how they go because Douglas Luiz and Tammy Abraham are both alumni who used to play for Villa, so they'll be happy. And this one's a bit tough call though. I think Bournemouth might win, very narrow one, 1-0 maybe. Big call.
Okay, okay, great. I think from the Aston Villa perspective, if Onana and Watkins are fit, they should start. Last week, Douglas Reed starts in midfield with Bogart, and Bogart who made way for Onana if he's fit,
Mm.
and also Taylor Abraham, Watkins could come in, or Abraham start and then Watkins come in later stage. So that's
Yep.
for Aston Villa. Bournemouth should keep the same lineup, although player like Krupi, Adli with Ryan coming in and the new sign up and thought so the minutes might be reduced, but we shall see. I think that's definitely slowly managing and getting those new players coming in into the team. Okay, Bournemouth versus Villa. Those are the team news. Should be fine. Let's go to the next one. Burnley versus West Ham. This is a 6-pointer match, man. Both teams are in the bottom three, but Burnley are hosting West Ham. Can Burnley getting a result at home against West Ham? What's the latest team news, man?
No real changes for Burnley. Just that the GWP was brought in, and yeah, cannot face. So that's one match less. West Ham, Todibo begins the three-match ban, but otherwise everyone is okay. Somerville's in hot form at the moment. If those of you fancy a
Hmm.
punt, and yeah, the thing with this match is you'd expect West Ham to win this one. But Bowen is also in form as well. But really tough to bring Bowen in. You know, we got our minds on Ekitike and
João
Thiago
Pedro.
and Haaland and now Joao Pedro. So, but this is such a good matchup. But maybe for just one match, it might not be worth the risk. So I do think West Ham will win this one. It is
Hmm.
possible they might keep a clean sheet. I think I think Burnley are toast lah. You know, I it, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, even Wolves look Wolves look also not doing well again. But I do fancy Wolves slightly better than Burnley at this point.
Right, right. Good stuff. I do feel West Ham could be um, getting the better out of winning this week. But yeah, it's Burnley at home. Probably they could salvage something, but they are really on a bad form right now. I just want to mention West Ham United do play in game week 31 because they will not blank. So maybe if you start with Bowen or trying to get in the budget enabler like Somerville, I don't think uh, there's any harm because you could always play him in game week.
Midfield tak ada space lah, bro.
Ada space. Okay, alright.
Susah betul.
Probably
So
at
much
5.5 million,
competition.
he's low own. I know kalau West Ham menang 2-0 and Somerville score 2 gol, there's
Habis
kita
lah.
cerita about him. Alright, good stuff. Welcome Samsul Omar to the stream. He already asked about siapa captain Sifu this week. Later we will reveal who's the best captain option. Alright, let's go to the next one. Team news: Fulham versus Everton. Fulham did lost against United last week. Everton managed to get an late equalizer against Brighton. They are facing each other this week at home. What's the latest team news?
Yeah, no biggie. No real changes except Muniz is now back available. Um, it's no surprise that Jimenez is getting along so down. So you wonder if Muniz around would have made a difference, help them to win games better. So, but now we'll see now that he's back. Yeah, Jimenez, you don't have to play 90 minutes or cut down on that as well. Everton might Kalanka fit again, but of course they have lost Jack Grealish, and it seems like it might be for the season, which is not great. Yeah, but at the same time, they have KDH who's back fully fit, so that would definitely help, and see someone to look at. Yeah, if you have space, because at he's at 4.9, is definitely worth looking into if he's going to get back into that same form that he showed before he got injured.
Hmm.
Uh, Another tough match to call, and maybe it's a 1-1. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's a bit hard. Yeah, they about the
With Harry
same.
Wilson scoring again, is it? So
Yeah,
that's
Harry Wilson scoring again, and some rando from Everton scoring, because Everton, we know they just don't have a good record at scoring goals. Yeah, so I'm gonna go for 1-1.
all right. Last week Everton did play with 4 centre back because Michaelenko is not available. So I think if they say he's fit again to feature, so probably one of those O'Brien, Keane or Brentford make way for
Mm.
Michaelenko. And the rumors is Keane could make the way because Tarkowski and Brentford will partner at the centre back again. So maybe there is something to monitor. I'm interested to know. Everton do play in game week 31, but they are playing at home against Chelsea. So, and Fulham, interestingly, they will face Burnley on game week 31. So, I think if you're getting in any Fulham players like Anderson or Wilson this game week, they also can be a nice entry point against Everton
Oh
this week.
yes, definitely.
So,
Yeah.
I just want to throw that up. Okay, let's go to the next team news. Wolves versus Chelsea. I think, interestingly, Wolves did double in game with 26, but would you bring them in ahead that with Chelsea playing for this game week? So that's a conversation. What's the latest news for both teams?
Yeah.
Chelsea
So
did play
Wolves.
against me.
The thing is with Wolves, they already look like they're preparing for life in the championship again. So JSL has already gone for Palace, And now they confirmed that John Arias, who, if you remember, just came in this season, at the start of the season, and Aguado are both set to follow. So not through the league. So definitely not that. There's they are going most likely to leagues that where the deadline isn't hasn't expired yet. Yeah, but definitely if they transfer, it will not be to a Premier League team lah. If they are sold in the near future. Otherwise, end of the season they will leave regardless. So Chelsea, so James finally uh, have a doubt, which he's surprisingly resilient this season. But Pedro Neto is quite a big loss, I feel, because he was a bit more consistent. Not great, but consistent for Chelsea for most of the season. And of course, the big gun about Cole Palmer and to a minor point, Esteva ready for 90 minutes. Honestly speaking, if I had space, I would rather go for Estevao, and because he's one of those guys who's got a point to prove. Whereas Palmer, who already, when in his debut season at Chelsea, he was insane for what 6 million or something that we had him for. But Estevao is that youth where he still he needs to prove himself, and we've seen how explosive he can be. And I wouldn't want to invest on Cole Palmer given the injury um, history that he's had this season and last season as well. So you'd still want to wait and see to see whether Palmer can steady. So he says ready for 90 minutes, but not necessarily back to back. So if you read in the full quote, it says, yeah, it really depends on how the player feels and whether or not he can do a back to back. So it doesn't inspire me with confidence. And given if you paying so much for one midfielder, you'd want he's not something as a one-off. Is something you'd like to hold for most of the season, at least until all those chips start coming into play. So I wouldn't go for Palmer. Enzo is still the best attacking asset for Chelsea, and you can still go for the defenders. Yeah, the only thing in this matchup is that Wolves. Yeah, I think they're at that point where they feel they have nothing to lose. So
Mm.
they might just score one goal and they'll be very happy, and that is the risk you have to do. But personally, I think Chelsea are just too good in that sense. The quality is there, and I don't think Wolves are gonna get through.
All right. Maybe we stick to Wolves first because they are going to double in the next match. Yeah, and we know
Yep.
if they are facing Forest and also Arsenal. What do you think, Min? Is it worthwhile to bring anyone in for that game with 26 from Wolves side?
The only person that and I think someone you already have, which is Mane. Yeah, because he's cheap at 4 point something, so he's not gonna be a huge risk. But at least he's guaranteed to play both matches, unless something happens, fallout or something. But he's guaranteed to play 90 minutes. And even if he doesn't, hey, you bought it for 4.6. What's the
But
deal?
would you say in your situation would you spend a transfer, say take out Kopi Junior for money for ahead for this game with 26? I don't think so,
uh,
right?
Not this week. Next week. I do it next week.
Wow,
Yeah,
wow,
because it's still
wow.
a double. If you have three Arsenal players and one Wolf player, should be sufficient. That's my thought lah. Yeah.
Interesting. And for Chelsea, they are not doubling anytime soon, and I don't think people should rush in. Although the next
Your
three fixtures
fixtures
were
are
Chelsea
great though.
inclusive, yeah, inclusive this week they are facing Wolves,
Leeds,
Leeds,
Wolves,
and Burnley. So
Burnley. Yeah.
probably there's some worthwhile. They also do not blank in game week 31, which is still nice.
Hold on.
So I think there could be some reason. And later we reveal among the top transfer this week is a Chelsea asset. So possibly that's can be a reason. All right, let's go to the next team news, which is the Newcastle and Brentford, like we mentioned there. Uh, uh, Looking at this, we thought Newcastle going to be at a higher league position than Brentford. It is not. Brentford are better position in terms of the table against Newcastle. And at home, especially, Newcastle are a better side. They did play midweek against City. They lost 3-1 despite getting Anthony Gordon getting a goal. They're going to be tired. They might be on low moral, but they need to be up. Brentford, a decent side. What's the latest team news, man?
Yeah, so the biggest, of course, is that Bruno G trained, but there's no guarantee that he will play. Gordon, who kaput in the midweek Carbo Cup game. I mean, I've been talking to quite a lot of Newcastle fans, and they just don't like Gordon. They feel he's Howie's favorite child, poster child, and when he went off, there was a general feeling that he's given up. That's why he doesn't feel like he wants to play. So he's, so I don't know, but the reality is Newcastle as a whole, they do look knackered. They look exhausted, and
Mm.
I don't know, with the because with all the injuries at the back, I know you didn't put it here, but they have so many injuries at the back, so they're on their bare. So you got Shah's out, Livramento, yeah, so many out. Uh, and okay, Louis Miley hopefully back soon, but that's another option in midfield. The nice thing before I get to Brentford is that if with Anthony Gordon out, Barnes will definitely get that next spot. And Barnes is such a much better player, which is why the reason there's so much speculation is why isn't Barnes playing instead of Gordon? So Barnes, he's more direct and he'll want to
Mm.
score goals.
Mm.
So on the Brentford side, yeah, so Furo and Reece Nelson come back into equation, but it doesn't matter. They haven't seen so much. I was going to say screen time, game time. Shade for sillily falling to Matty Cash's ploy, and now he's suspended for 2 league matches. Yeah, because the third match is
Mm. Mm. Mm.
FA Cup tie. So yeah, so only two. So Nathan Collins, yeah, I expect he come in. I don't know for Vanderberg, or yeah, I'm not sure, but it does mean that with Shade suspended, the question is, Utara goes in there obviously, and then it'll be Damsgaard or Lewis Potter, our
Mm.
OOP guy. Yeah, but it's hard to tell because Damsgaard, that he does set pieces,
Mm.
and he's quite he's historically been a more consistent player. Whereas KDH is just still breaking into the scene. KDH, blah, KLP. So
KLP.
yeah, so I briefly called. I actually did consider bringing KLP for that risk, but then 2 league matches, like, then he sits on the bench, and uh
Mm.
the yeah
Not worth the risk, right?
yeah, not the worth risk, even though he's cheap for 4.8. So this is a game I think Brentford will win.
Wow,
I think
that's a big call,
Newcastle. I
man.
know it's at St James Park, but I just feel that Brentford have the momentum and Newcastle don't. So yeah, I'm calling a Brentford win. Nice win.
Wow, wow. You
It
just
might
made
really
me.
put Yeah, it might put Eddie Howie's job on the line after this match.
You just made me two mind in terms of who should I play for goalkeeper this week. So never mind, we touch on that. But I just want to go back to Bruno G. He's a player that you own right now in your team. From this statement, what do you think? Is he's gonna play or not?
The problem is Newcastle's fixtures are bad anyway. So
It's a reason for you to move him on, is it?
yeah, it's a move. I mean, I kept him last week. You remember because he was on the bench in the Europe game. Oh no, nah lah.
Hmm, hmm.
And then they say he was, and
Yeah,
then
lah.
and then the following weekend he disappeared. He wasn't there, he wasn't even on the bench. I know what kind of thing of leaving him on the bench for motivation purposes. It seemed,
So dah terkena lah.
but
Alright, okay, okay.
yeah. So, but I don't know. I just think that Newcastle's team is disrupted and maybe just a wee bit demoralized as well.
Okay,
So, oh yeah, we'll see.
right. We'll see. Let's go to the next match, which is Brighton versus Palace. I think interesting. Both teams are having mixture in terms of result, but Brighton playing at home. And what's the latest news for both teams?
Peterville, Yashin, Ari, Kuiper isn't. So Matt Swiffer is closer to return as well. On the Crystal Palace side, with Mateta undergoing further assessment, I don't know. Will Strand Larsen start? It is quite possible. Not that we would want to risk it,
Mm.
unless we've known so many problems right now. Whether it's the manager, I think one of the players even came out. Was it? I can't remember who it was. Henderson. Someone saying that there are things you are not allowed to do. Guys know who it is, kind of thing. So all is not well in the Palace hierarchy. Brighton, yeah, no real issues. It's just that they're just inconsistent and finding it hard to get wins at the moment. And this will be not the best match in the house to be watching. It might well, probably a boring 1-1 draw.
But
I
they'll
thought I did look at Munoz, briefly, but nah, cannot. Just not worth it.
this will be a 10 p.m. match on Sunday. Only one game play
One
at that time. So
that
basically,
time,
if you
yeah.
do not have anything to do and just
It's
want to watch football, so this will be the game before the big match Man City. I just
it's
want
the
to
warm up match. Yeah, it's the warm up
Yeah,
match for
I just
players.
want to touch if you're interested in these players, okay? So say Brighton, you're thinking about Pascal Gross, yeah? So you want to bring him in. Brighton do play in game week 31, but they will play against Liverpool. So whether
Yeah,
you okay with that, but he's still cheap. But for Palace, if you're interested, I think that is logical because you're playing Brighton, and then after that they back to back at home against Burnley versus Wolves, and also Wolves. So I think there's
mm,
merit to get in the likes of Sao, maybe JCL, so on. But just be careful, they do blank in game week 31, and you might need a transfer to take those players out later stage if you need. If you do not have any players to play in, so just be careful on
yeah.
that.
I mean, yeah, they play Arsenal in game week 31, but that's at home. But their fixture run is not bad either. It's just so boring to pick up Brighton players because there's none of them who are really standing out. Unless
Hmm.
who's the Japanese guy?
Mitoma,
Mitoma.
Mitoma.
Yeah, if he finds back his rhythm properly and starts being more consistent, then we might look at it. But there isn't any, not even Welbeck. Sorry, Welbeck.
I think you mentioned about Mitoma. I do feel I go for Gross first over Mitoma because Gross
Yes.
has ability and he's cheaper, and he could be on penalty.
Yeah, if he's definitely doing set pieces as well, Gross is the one
Yeah,
person that to consider,
worth.
if at all.
All right, let's go to the last match, man, to preview, which is the Liverpool versus Man City, and there's a lot of interest after that 4-1 win last week. People already argue about words, AKTK, and for Man City side, people are dropping out their assets. So what's the latest in news?
So the player who I bought in and sold like 1 or 2 weeks later, Frimpong, yeah, he's still not available. Joe Gomez could return the squad, but it's very telling saying return the squad. So I actually see Zoboslai going back to right back again for this game.
Hmm.
So it's just you need someone reliable. Yeah, he can do it. So Manchester City, you know what? I think that losing Bernardo Silva is going to be quite crucial for City because he really pulls the strings in that midfield in terms of linking up to the attack. So I hope he doesn't make it because LFC could use a good win here. Uh, when he has back Johnston's return. So yeah, Guay, yeah, he just started his career in City, so no judgment yet. But Semenyo has been crazy, hit the ground running. I guess he rose to the challenge of being the need to be the better midfielder among that sea of midfielders that City have. So I wouldn't surprise if Semenyo scored this one. On the LFC side, the thing is, City generally play the high line, and that high line, if Pep doesn't change that's something that Liverpool at Anfield could really make use of. And I don't know, have you started looking at whether or not to bring in Words next week? If not this week,
That's fine.
yeah,
He could be an option. Yeah.
he's on a consistent tree, and I think he's really found his running. And against City, look, because they're not City are not one of those promoted sides, a lot of physicality involved. So Woods is gonna have a lot of space, and I think Woods will return again for this one.
Interesting. I think this definitely a good match to watch on Super Sunday. I'll be eyeing to spend time my Sunday watching this game, and hopefully some players to rooting on. So I just want to mention about you did mention about Zoboslai, I mean, and some managers own Soboslai, but he's playing on right back, and potentially he could be less value in terms of, because if you want Soboslai upfront and creating chances and getting those set pieces on. Soboslai did get got 5 points last week, 2 DC points if I'm right, and 1 bonus point. He's still excellent at right back, so I think he's still have some value at 6 million plus. But probably if you have extra money, you go for words, right?
Yeah, words. Bruno G two words. Do that. Yeah.
And Bernardo
I'm
Silva,
really, honestly, I'm really looking forward to this match. At the same time, Haaland isn't on the top of his form, so it'll be interesting to see. Pep Guardiola did actually, I mean, he was actually asked, yeah, and then he was saying Haaland's a great, 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 but someone pushed him into asking, so he's going to start in this match, and then he dodged the question and just said, yeah, he is the best, he's the best, but
oh,
it'll be interesting.
a bit interesting. Mamush did score 2 goals, right, in midweek. So
Yeah, Mamush has been taking up a good spot, so it'll be interesting.
well, with Silva might not be available. Okay, potentially can Foden start this game week. I have Foden, but I'm not gonna risk. Uh, Thinking of what Pep gonna do for Man City against it, I do feel they need to line up a strong team against Liverpool. So that's my feeling. All right, we already ran through all the presser, man, and we shall see the top transfer for Gameweek 25. I can reveal to everyone now. I snapshot this at 11 p.m. Slightly, maybe there's more traffic coming in, but I do feel these are the top transfer for this game week. Would you be surprised that Chelsea asset has we have 2 players inside here in the top 5? João Pedro, the most this week with 696,000 manager after that 10 points last week against West Ham. Bruno Fernandes keep getting new ownership with 565,000 managers already bring in Bruno Fernandes. I don't think it's a surprise there. Enzo Fernandez picking up. Chelsea still have some decent fixture for the next 3 especially. AKTK 13 points last week. If that trigger him to be in this top transfer in. I do remember AKTK featured in the top transfer out somewhere a few weeks back, but he's now in the top transfer in. And Declan Rice, no surprise, I do feel he could be the like for like replacement for Saka, who is now the most transferred out for this game. He already dropped his price to 9.9 million right now. 500,000 manager already did that, and I could follow them. Bruno G, the player who you own, me, second most transfer out this game week, 559,000 managers and did that. Thiago, third out, probably for AKTK. 490,000 major done that. Foden, I don't think it's a surprise. I will tell you, if you still own Foden, I don't know what you are doing, because Bruno Fernandes, Enzo, even Declan Rice could be the perfect replacement. And Watkins, after he missing last week, is in this top transfer out for this game week. What your take in terms of this traffic, mate?
Sorry, Pedro bias first. Okay, moving on. Um, you got Thiago. If you just now you mentioned Thiago being sold for AKTK, I just don't like that idea.
Yeah,
It's
for so,
probably more on
and
Pedro.
could be for João
Could,
Pedro. Yeah.
could be Pedro. And actually, to be fair, I'm so relieved that Joao Pedro is the top transfer and not Bruno, because I could use some decent Bruno scores. I don't. So the top transfer curse will gonna hit Pedro like a lightning, like a lightning strike. So Rice comes into the picture because a lot of people, especially those that Raya and Gabriel, or and Saka, and they just downgrading Saka to Rice and getting extra money in the bargain. Ekitike, he's looking hot and together with Words at the moment, but Words isn't here. Ekitike is. Um, Enzo, Mr. Consistency, I think he's great. I think he will score more than Palmer. I just think Palmer is still not there yet. Uh, on the top transfers out, so With Bruno G is a case of his price was kept dropping, so people scared and sold off. So now we know that he's trained this week. But yeah, I still don't see him uh starting, or even if he starts, I don't think he'll do well. He'll be needed, but I don't think he's going to be able to stop Brentford. Watkins is a issue lah, but I guess because they're going for the supposedly easier matchups like Juan Pedro, yeah. But and it's Watkins is still quite pricey, and they can be get some extra cash left over from that. Saka top transfers out. Looks like very few are gonna bench him in preparation for the double game week. And if let's be honest, even if he was available for the double game week, suddenly in the press con saying Saka is available, I still wouldn't buy him for the double game week. I just
Mm.
think he's not producing enough to be consistent and worth it at that price that
What's
he's
his
at.
value?
Yeah.
All
Excuse me.
right, those are top transfer for Game Week 25. If you're thinking to make this kind of move, well, this is what the managers are doing right now. Okay, quickly on suspension, you did mention about players who suspended this week. I just want to recap. Kevin Shade, and also Todibo from West Ham, who going to miss the 3 matches, although Azmin did highlighted that one of the game will be for the FA Cup round. So Nico Williams also getting sent off last week. He will miss this game week against Leeds United. And for return list, Adam Burton will return back for Palace against Brighton. He did get 2 bookable offense against Chelsea. Okay, I think previously. All right. So I just want to touch on the right side, suspension tightrope. Whoever hitting 10 yellow cards will miss 2 matches after this. So on top right now, 9 yellow cards is Muscular from Wolves. Might not be someone who are people eyeing, but if you're thinking about him getting those player for the double game, just be careful who he might pick
Yeah.
up.
The last person you want to get him and he gets suspended. So yeah, I think
Uh,
he'll be I can't remember whether he was missed the 5 yellow suspensions. I don't know. Yeah, because if he managed to escape that, and he will still end up with
mm.
2 suspended
Yeah,
matches. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
You're
not
right.
worth it. Not stay away.
So three Wolves player there. Andre Joe Gomez of Wolves. They are on 8 yellow cards. Other than that, not much player in terms of high ownership. Dang, Walker, Romero. Probably people stay here, but we know he's capable of getting yellow cards every day. I think the interesting one is Senesi, because people are trying to get some Bournemouth defender. Senesi has been good in terms of depth con, but he's on 7 yellow cards. So if let's say he got another 3, suddenly he missed that 2 games. That we don't want him to miss that game in 31. So I just want to point out because he's a player that I'm eyeing to replace for orally if possible. But based on this, I just want to make sure I'm I know his situation right now. Caicedo, Ampado, he might not be in someone right now. So you want to comment anything about that suspension thingy?
Not really. I think Senesi is still worth it. I think he's
Okay.
still getting the stuff in for DefCon is still a big thing for him. So yeah,
Okay.
I think it's still worth it. 4.8. Yeah, not as cheap as it used to be, but yeah, I think it's still worth it.
All right.
Excuse me.
I think we can go to our team selection, but probably we look at back that projection, a goals and clean sheet. If you want to decide who the best captaincy and so on, because some so they ask, right? So this is the projected goals and clean sheet odds, visual from robtFPL and data from Solid Analytics from Pinnacle. And as you can see that, Arsenal is expected to score the highest this week with 2.30 against Sunderland. As been mentioned, but 2-0, 3-0 against Sunderland, probably. And they have the highest odds in terms of keeping clean sheet. So if you are on double defense, whether in the form of Raya, Gabriel, or Timber, Gabriel, or people thinking about triple up, in terms of defense. So probably you could do that getting those points. So Arsenal against Sunderland. After that, United expected to score 2 goals against Spurs, and predicted at keeping clean sheet 31% against Spurs. In terms of other than that, projected highest goal Chelsea against Wolves, maybe 1.85. Then after that, Newcastle against Brentford 1.75. And then close out Brighton and Liverpool at 1.63 and 1.64. Clean sheet, I did mention about Arsenal. Then after that, who? Fulham against keeping clean sheet against Everton, probably, but Azmin predicted 1-1 against Everton. So we shall see. After that, Chelsea 34% and Leeds United 33% over Forest at home. Then after that, shared by West Ham and United. And probably if you're thinking about captaincy, like Samson mentioned, probably if you can predict any Arsenal assets or United assets. So, what do you think, man?
Right. Arsenal, yeah, I kind of agree. 2.3 and 56%. I think that's strong enough. I think this is not a game where I expect Arsenal to drop points, even though I like Sunderland. Uh, so yeah, and it's just nice leading into the double game week. For the rest, nothing big. Chelsea's goal scoring is not as high as I would have liked. But that's the thing, the power line isn't exactly consistent. And Wolves have been batting better. But it's just too late for them. Uh, Liverpool versus City, that's fairly even, and both in terms of the CS and goals. But it's interesting to note Liverpool does have a slight upper hand, probably because it's at Anfield. All right, so Fulham Everton is another one which I'm looking at interest because I toyed with the idea of bringing back KDH, but I think I need to see something more, at least an assist before he gets there. But those who have Wilson, of course, you'll still hang on to him, even though the odds of scoring are not that great. Um, I guess when it comes down to it, because City isn't there, so we're not going to consider Haaland for the captaincy. Yeah, cue a
Yeah.
hat trick coming. But Arsenal, Manchester United are both at home, and obviously Bruno Fernandes is looking great as an option. On
Mm-mm.
the Arsenal side, that would most likely be Gabriel, yeah, rather than a
Oh,
midfielder. So yeah,
thank you. Thank you. I think good point you mentioned that. I think two potential captaincy this week. Bruno Fernandes is a good one, especially getting 10 points last week. But maybe a sneaky pick from the Arsenal side, Gabriel. Because most
okay,
probably people are eyeing to triple captain Gabriel in Gameweek 26. Could
mm.
this be an
Warm up blue,
audition?
yeah,
Yeah, from Gabriel. I think if Gabriel keep a clean sheet, maybe getting 8 points,
yeah.
6 clean sheet, 2 point, some bonus point, he suddenly can be a really good, great option. So I think for Samsung, this could be two great picks in terms of captaincy this week.
I just wonder if Chelsea was playing Wolves at home, would it be more enticing to get a captain from
Probably,
Enzo?
probably,
Yeah, it's just that they're not at home. But at the
yeah.
same time, I can't tear myself away from Thiago. I know his goal scoring is looks bad in terms of the uh, odds, but reality is, okay, Thiago has scored for 3 matches at the moment, two. Yeah, but Newcastle are just look tired. And I feel that it's a situation that Brentford will exploit. Brentford didn't have anything, so they well rested. And the last weekend they managed to defeat Villa. Yeah, so you would still go to whatever it is you're doing, and then just I'm starting to babble. But Newcastle 1.75, I think that's too high. Brentford are a great side. Your
Okay.
calendar can stop them lah.
Okay, yeah, right.
The only
Okay.
real threat for right now for Newcastle is Harvey Barnes. So yeah, if we can stop him, we'll stop Newcastle.
Yeah, I just want to point out, I mean, Burnley are expected to keep clean sheet at 22%, Brentford 17. But after hearing you out, probably I will rethink my goalkeeper
Yeah.
situation. All right, let's go to team selection and answer some question from the audience. Let's go to my team. I got two free transfer, 0.2 million in the bank. Eddie Jensen captaining Bruno Fernandes. Let's read out my team first. Dubrafa in goal, but it could easily be away to Newcastle. Timber Gabriel playing Sunderland at home, and Anderson, who are predicted to keep second best clean sheet odds after Arsenal. So Anderson are in this game week. And then Bruno Fernandes, Enzo, Saka, and Foden. We'll touch on them later. And Haaland, Thiago, and Mane. And on my bench is O'Reilly, Alderete, and Potts. I will never play Alderete and Potts because they're playing Arsenal, and Potts are non-playing player right now. And O'Reilly away to Liverpool, I'm not too sure. I think Liverpool going to win that and score. So, on the cards, I am planning to take a hit and make 3 free transfer this game week, of which Saka
If you you
will.
you you can't say planning to take a hit and make 3 free transfers because
Okay,
it's
okay,
not
okay.
free anymore.
Free transfer, and
One
I
hit,
need to take
yeah.
it. So Saka, the logical thing to downgrade and fill in my third Arsenal spot, which is Declan Rice. I think that should be an easy. Don't overthink it. Foden, it's time up, and you did mention about Wolves. Okay, but
Hmm.
I do feel I wanna bring in um someone from United this game week first because they're playing at home against
Buemo?
Spurs, which is Mbomo. I think when I read out in some foreign also fantasy football hub on the season managers, probably they do that and wait for words. But I don't think I think it's a close call because I think Words is still excellent, but maybe I give him a few more match because they're playing City. Then after that, 2 away games and Sunderland and Forest after that. Probably. And then why maybe Azmin will ask why you need to take a hit. I think you already solved that. I don't think I want to play money against Chelsea, and I know I need to tackle my defender Aurelie or Potts somewhere because why not I just take a hit this week? So probably in my mind is Douglas Luiz could be an option or Anderson who are playing against Leeds. Anderson is someone that I don't really pay attention, but I do see the FPL Harry, the Let's Talk FPL Andy have Anderson, and Anderson just keep ticking, getting dash DC points, 4 points,
Hmm.
5 points, 7 points last week, and they have 7. So they are, and but Douglas Luiz can be a sleeper pick, which I really like, and Villa do play in game week 31. So I think that's my team for now. Can I just walk through me because I think this is an important week because the planning for 26 and 31 blank starts this week. So I just want to walk through a bit in terms of my long-term plan because I just think and share my thoughts. This is hop on, hop off metrics for Legomané. And I just want to point out my transfer plan from 25 until the 31, and my plan is 32 to wildcard. So I did mention about that mean 25 taking out Saka for the Potts. Here I put out Anderson, but it could be easily Douglas Luiz because Villa have Bournemouth, Brighton, Leeds, and Wolves in the next 4. So it's but for Forest they have this week and then Wolves next. So immediate 2 fixture on him. Then after that, what I will do, I have no free transfer left. So 26 I could roll, 27 I could roll, and then after that, that game week 28 where people mentioned about the feature swing or the Liverpool at least, the Villa, the Fulham, and I could get in Words and Wilson and take out Rice who already finished up the game week and Enzo because in game week 28, Arsenal will face Chelsea each other. So I don't want too many assets from there. And Arsenal
Can.
in game week 31. Words could come in after that. Then I roll out 29 and 30. And at 31, I could bring in any players just to fill out my 11 players in game week 31, AKTK or Watkins and Cash, and take out Haaland and Timber probably in T1. And but I just wanna bring forward some free transfer when I wildcard. So I don't want like use all my transfer again. So maybe 1 or 2 transfer to roll in out in that KB32. So that is the long-term plan for my team, at least for now. We can only plan, but anything can.
Anderson, yeah, I think it's great that you're getting Anderson. I think he's, at his price, he's still good value and consistent, quite consistent, I would say. Words, Wil- Wilson and Hill out. So that's it for Chelsea because they play in 29. Aston Villa, is that? Aston Villa, Newcastle?
Fulham, is it?
Uh, no, no. Oh yeah, yeah, Fulham. Oh, my bad, my bad. For some reason, I thought it was Chelsea. Uh, not so. Hmm.
Spurs and West Ham.
28. You got Wilson playing.
Spurs.
Okay, okay, you brought him in. Sorry, sorry, I misread. I misread. So you're bringing him in. Okay lah, then it's fine.
So means that
Uh,
pass the City and Sunderland away games, then try to get at home. But
yeah,
you could easily get him this week, which I don't think is any harm. But I just want to take advantage some that Forest fixture or even Aston Villa, because if you want to bring in any Aston Villa, I think this could be a right moment. Bournemouth, Brighton, Leeds, and I
yeah,
don't
but
have
it's just
money
that
to Rodgers.
it's
That's
just
all I can.
is that they just slightly buckled against Brentford. Yeah, the 10-man Brentford. So it's giving a bit of pause. But yeah, but let's remember that those teams, Liverpool, City, Arsenal, all have Champions League as well. So that will
I
definitely comes
understand. I
into
understand.
play as well. Sorry, not Villa, but yeah. So definitely worth looking at. Keeping in mind as we go through the weeks. Okay.
Like you mentioned, like you mentioned lah, United, you do not need to worry any feature congestion because they only can focus on the league.
Yeah, United are great.
Hopefully, this is my plan, but I'm still thinking because we have few hours more before it. Let's go to your team, man. I do feel you have one free transfer and 3.2 million in the bank. You are pretty rich.
Yeah, but I'd rather share my screen. It's easier. If you
Okay, all
don't
right, all
mind.
right.
Uh, eh, can see?
Okay.
Y-
Yes, that is your
Yes.
team.
Okay. So I've got Kelleher and goal. And Gabriel, Anderson, Chalova as my defenders. Bruno Fernandes, Semenyo Rice, Salah, and Enzo as my midfielders, and Thiago and Ekitike round up at the top. Although I briefly considered Bowen, but in the end, long term, I think I still want Thiago. And
What?
Mane, what?
I can see a lot of changes there.
Yes, Dubravka's still there, don't worry.
But
Then,
last time you have Donnarumma, right?
yeah, Senesi, Mane, and Konza. So Mane is coming to my team as well. So, uh, yeah, so I guess the biggest gamble in this is Salah. So we'll see. I fancy it the last match, but of course not enough to make me do a captaincy. The
Are you
captaincy
wildcarding,
is
man?
yes, this is a wild card. Ha ha.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yes. I just went through the week really unhappy, things, players like Rogers, he's
Eh,
been
eh,
disappointing me. Then I
eh.
still have the injuries, Tavernier and Dorgu there,
Hmm.
so and then Donnarumma, as you know, I've always been trying to find a way to get rid of him, and I just never could get it done. I couldn't find a way, and yeah, it all boiled it, and then at the same time, I feel like I think Liverpool are going to go on that run and really solid run, and I just want to get in early, even though it's against City. Just now I mentioned about City's high line. I think that's something that Liverpool are going to might be able to have some fun with. The thing is, of course, yeah, again, but because we were talking about words, and instead of words, I have Salah, so that is really just a case of funds. Yeah,
Yep.
but I'm just wondering whether City will concede a penalty, and they don't do that a lot, to be fair. But Salah needs.
Hmm,
I think the last two games he had two assists, so
hmm,
I think it's high
hmm.
time for him to start scoring again. Um, I was talking about Brentford can really give it to Newcastle, who are who are really stretched. But that's not set in stone. I might consider capping Gabriel instead. I just
It's nice.
feel yeah, I just feel that the clean sheet potential and the DEFCON is better. Uh, but I still want. Okay, you know what? Let me see how it looks. I lo-
Just a question. You only have two Arsenal assets. Are you thinking to bring another one?
yes, but I just can't figure it out this week as to which one to bring in. Uh, the argument is if I'm going to captain Gabriel, I'm hoping for a clean sheet. So why don't I just have a third with its Timber or yeah? But then I'm not. I want Timber if it wasn't because of this doubt
It's
issue. I
okay.
would
It's
bring
okay. You have
Timber.
excellent bench if they say he missed out, which is Senesi. I think it's fine.
How much is Tim?
6 million
You
plus. You have
you
money,
mean
right?
I still have Tim? You mean if I no I don't. uh
So if let's say
uh.
you're thinking about Timber, I'm presuming I'm presuming you need to sacrifice Chaloba and downgrade somewhere else.
Yeah, so Chalobah's at 5.7. But Chelsea's matchups I like. That's the problem.
Okay, fair.
Uh,
So you're okay with only two, but if possible you want to take advantage of that Arsenal double game week fixture, lah, right?
yeah, I mean, yeah. Look, if I had if I
I think you keep Salah because I think that can be a
if
really
I change
fun.
that to words and then I have money, plenty of money, I can
Oh,
just
okay,
upgrade anyone, you know. So let's
fine.
see that. Let's look at that as an
So
option.
if let's say you have words, then yeah, you have money and you can change anyone else to
I
anyone.
it's just that words is in fine form. So it's just that the pattern you got 10, 3, 10,
Yeah,
2,
yeah.
12.
Like four double digits in the last eight. Hmm.
Yeah. So you got well, double digit blank, double digit blank, double digit blank, double digit blank. So what's the next one? It's a blank. So let's see what happens. But yeah, now that I look at it, now I remember why I put Salah in instead of words in the first place. Because of that, thinking that words is gonna blank, but Salah. But then if I'm applying that kind of pattern to words, should I also be applying that to Salah, who hasn't scored for a long the longest time? But yeah,
I think
I
I
don't know.
think okay. I think my opinion like if you ever thinking to downgrade Salah to words, then probably if you do not want to bring in Timber because you could kick Chaloba and Suman and just go for Raya and just leave him.
Yeah, let's see as we get nearer or
Yeah,
fall
okay,
asleep.
okay.
But
Right,
yeah, I
right.
definitely consider that.
Great. Let's take some question, man. I know two question there. Franco O'Brien 713. Thank you for your question. He has Ellison, Dubravka, Gabriel, Timber, O'Reilly, Tarkowski. Okay. Caloba, Rice, Bruno, Fernandez, Semenyo, Enzo, Wilson, Thiago Haaland. Wow. Gian Pedro, really excellent team. Bench four. I guess
It's a bit.
Dubravka first.
I mean, is that what Wilson? I assume that's Callum Wilson then, because
No,
then
no.
you
I think Wilson, Harry Wilson from Fulham.
no, but that's 15 players. So who's the
Oh,
third
yeah.
striker?
Joe
No,
Pedro,
Pedro,
Haaland, and
Pedro.
Thiago.
Yeah, Thiago Haller Pedro. No, that's right. Thiago Haller Pedro, Bruno F. Semenyo, Enzo Wilson, Rice.
So if I make here, this is my opinion. Dubravka, you O'Reilly, then probably Tarkowski because he's playing away to Fulham because you want Wilson, and then probably Thiago
Gosh, no, can't bench Thiago.
because unless you want to bench
Form wise,
Semenyo.
he has blanked for the past three matches, Thiago. So that's got to be bad. It's just I just feel that Newcastle is going to uh, be overwhelmed by a well rested Brentford. Oh, that's
So that's
hard.
my
This is
opinion.
hard. Why do you have such high values quality players? It's hard, you know. You've got okay, fine, bench O'Reilly and maybe um Tarkowski.
Yeah, you played Chalobah and Gabriel and Timber, right? Chalobah
Yeah, you
against
bench
Wolves.
Tarkowski because if you're gonna play Wilson, but who are you going to bench? Oh dear God, O'Reilly,
Yeah.
Tarkowski, and
Thiago. I think Thiago. I'll play Enzo. I think Thiago or Semenyo.
I would bench Pedro. So I just don't think it's gonna be
All right.
consistent. But yeah,
Okay.
that's our thoughts lah.
Our thought. Let's go to David Morgan, 9481. Hi, mate. He got 2 free transfer. Would you do Elliot Anderson, which I did mention, to bring into Mbomo or role? Have Enzo, Rice, Bruno, and Harry Wilson, which is nice. But a bit of value in Wilson, I don't want to sell. I don't think I will sell Wilson. But you have Elliot Anderson. Worthwhile to bring in Elliot Anderson for Mbomo? Probably.
Elliot Anderson plays Leeds.
But Mbomo has
Uh,
potential to deliver bigger points.
yes, that's right. I probably wouldn't. I like Elliot Anderson. I think the set pieces is and
Yep,
Defcon plus set pieces lah more. I think that set pieces will give him the up over Mbeumo for me.
I kind of agree, but it's your call, mate. Right, the FPL Grandmaster. Would you take a -4 to get rid Bruno G, man, this week or keep him?
Take a -4. I just think that Newcastle are currently on a downward. I'm speaking as someone who's had Bruno G for a while now, and I finally got rid of him. I just think that Newcastle are not in a great trajectory at the moment. So if you, I mean, if you look at players, someone like Semenyo or Enzo, yeah, definitely the -4 is worth it. So yeah, I don't know who the other side transfer is, but yeah, it's worth it.
All right. We come to the end of streaming and 1.5 hour before the deadline. So your last word.
Good luck, everybody. I of course won't be sleeping. Won't be staying up to watch. You can tell I'm already knackered, quite exhausted. But good luck. This could be a pivotal moment, actually. This
Yeah. I think it's an
the
important
Liverpool,
week.
yeah, the Liverpool City game, for example, it could, really, if Liverpool win, it could really, start showing Pep's ending of his City career. Yeah, but Arsenal. Arsenal is okay. They just need 1-0 because it's not going to be a big win, but it's going to be enough to defeat Sunderland. But elsewhere, there's a lot of possibilities. You got Bournemouth versus Aston Villa, um, Manchester United versus Spurs, as well as Liverpool versus Manchester City. Results could go either way. I'm looking forward to this weekend. Hopefully, I can catch at least 2 matches or 3, and the rest highlights. Good luck, guys.
All right. Good luck to everyone. Would like to mention, do hit the like button and subscribe to our FPL YouTube channel and do continue to support us. For you, Azmin, good luck with your wildcard team, and hopefully you will get all the green arrows that you are pretty much have been dreaming of. So good
Here
luck
we
to both of
go.
us.
Good luck.
Take care, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.